Let go.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. Going to wait for a few people to join and also make sure that the sound is good and the screen is clear. Okay, Rick is in the chat. Hello, Rick. Kevin, hey, what's up, brother? And Bruno is also in the chat. I see that my girlfriend XRP Crypto Daily is also in the chat. Much love to her. I'm actually doing a live stream early enough that she's awake. Wait for a few more of you to join. This decode, this information is going to be fun. You know, I talked about SIRIUS the last two videos, and then today I just discovered all this stuff with Donald Trump. So we're going to get into that in a minute. Anyways, guys, what's up, Edward? Nice to see you as well. All right, so, well, I guess we'll get started here. So if you guys, most of the people in the chat right now have already watched my last videos. So they probably already know, but I've been talking about the dog days of summer, or SIRIUS, and we're currently in the dog days of summer, and I think it starts on July 3rd or something like that and goes to like August 13th, if I'm not mistaken. But the first thing, for the people who aren't aware, I want to just share the dog days of summer are an historical period following the heliacal rising of the star Sirius, which is known as the dog star. And this is usually connected with heat, drought, thunderstorms, lethargy, fever, mad dogs, and bad luck. So the dog star, you know, this reference to the dog star, you know, it made me think Trump is kind of like a dog, right? I mean, he's kind of portraying this character that's like this dog, you know, like when people say you're a dog, it means you're kind of this. Actually, let's just bring it up. Let me show you guys what I mean here. So when someone calls you a dog, they're probably referring to you. Well, there's a few different ways that you could say this. I mean, a lot of friends call their friends dogs, you know, like dog. But when you're talking about a dog in this sense, you're talking about somebody who is like a scoundrel, somebody who is a fraud or a rascal or a rogue. There's a lot of different words you could say here. But you're going to notice down here at the bottom, guys, it says a scoundrel. Another word for a scoundrel is a dog or a dirty dog. And we're going to get into that in this video, and how Trump and also Hunter Biden is also being portrayed in this time period. And they're both being portrayed as dirty dogs. And, you know, what's going to go down, you know, in this time period with Trump, I'm going to get into his visit to Montgomery, Alabama on August 4th. So that's, of course, Obama's birthday. And there's a lot of interesting connections with Trump and that Montgomery, Alabama visit that he's going to be making. It seems very interesting. So anyways, so just so you guys know, it's the dog star. We're in the dog days of summer. And yesterday it was released in the news that Hunter Biden, his plea deal, it says right here, his plea deal for the president's son collapses in dramatic court hearing. So just notice they use the word collapses. And yesterday in New York, there was a crane collapse at around the same time this news was on CNN. There was a crane collapse in New York. Of course, Trump had his first indictment in New York. And then at the same time, Hunter Biden news is coming out about his plea deal collapsing. You have a collapsing of a crane in New York City, which I thought was interesting. So Hunter Biden, you know, he's been portrayed as this scoundrel, you know, like he's in trouble for drugs and having weapons and like sex scandals and all these different things. And it just seems interesting that he's tied to Trump because, they're both being portrayed as this dirty dog, this scoundrel, which is going perfect with this symbolism of the Sirius dog star. Because in ancient Egypt, the dog star was usually known to bring not so good luck or not so good things. So anyways, yesterday, this was in the news. And at the same time, it was also in the news that Kevin Spacey, who had sexual allegations against him for like 5 years or something, he was declared not guilty. So at the same time, you have this Joe Biden or Hunter Biden thing. You have Kevin Spacey. And the interesting thing about Kevin Spacey is he played in House of Cards. And in House of Cards, Kevin Spacey plays the president of the United States, who gets replaced by the woman president. Okay? So just think about this, guys. I've been talking about Biden being replaced by Kamala. And now, all of a sudden, this president that plays the president in House of Cards, he's getting a not guilty. And also, he was replaced in the show by a woman. As you can see here, the front of the cover is the woman sitting on the throne, essentially. And another thing to mention here is that he was turning 64 years old yesterday, and he got not guilty on his 64th birthday. And he played in the show House of Cards, which equals 64. Okay, so Zach Hubbard shared this on his stream last night. This is very clear. It's very clear, guys. I mean, House of Cards equals 64. Kevin Spacey plays in that show, and he on his 64th birthday, he gets not guilty. Okay, so this, it's so obvious. So what's up with all of this court stuff? Because we have Trump in the courts, we have Hunter Biden going through court stuff. Even Joe Biden is being looked at as being, looked into his history. And now you have this Kevin Spacey guy also being in the news. So something about yesterday was important to this judgment stuff that's going on. This judge, this trial. In my mind, it's kind of like this biblical idea of the judgment. And I was just talking about the judgment day last week in my videos. And I'm going to get to that group, that WWE group, the Judgment Day, in just a minute. But let's just kind of go through this here, and I'm going to show you what I think this is all about. And unfortunately, it looks like some of my pages closed off, but we will see here in a minute here. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to go through a few things with Trump, okay? So Trump had 2 indictments this year, and his first indictment was in New York on March 30th, okay? So we're going to go over to the calculations here, and we're going to put in March 30th, and we're going to go to yesterday, which is when Hunter Biden was in court, right? And you're going to see some interesting connections here. First of all, you're going to see that both of these days have 76 date numerology, which means when you add the date up, 3 plus 30 plus 20 plus 23, you get 76. And when you add yesterday's date up, you get 76 as well. So the day that Trump was indicted and the day that Hunter Biden was in the news yesterday, both have 76 date numerology. This is important because in Gematria, Donald John Trump equals 76, okay? So again, he was indicted on 76 date numerology, and Hunter Biden was also in court on the 76 date numerology, and Donald John Trump equals 76. Now, while we're at it, guys, let's do a comparison here. The current times we're in are known as the dog days of summer. If you type dog days of summer in, you're going to see that Donald John Trump, his full name, is a direct match in all 4 ciphers to dog days of summer. And you remember last year during the dog days of summer on 8/8, Trump had his Mar-a-Lago raided, which was the start of a lot of this legal issues that he's going through. So it was, once again, last year was a huge ritual for the dog days on 8/8. But what are the chances that his name is a direct match to dog days of summer? Now, I want to go down here and I want to talk about the 48 for a minute, because on 8/4 or 4/8 next week, Trump is going to be in Alabama and he's going to be giving a speech. And that's going to be on Obama's birthday, which is written 4/8. And from what I can tell, this 4/8 is a huge connection here. Why? Because Donald Trump equals 48. Okay. And Biden is walking around right now talking about his Bidenomics, which also equals 48. And dirty dog equals 48. So again, you have this dog symbolism with Trump, dirty dog. And again, his name matches Dog Days of Summer. So again, in my last video, I talked about how Sirius, the dog star, is a Freemasonry symbol of Egypt, and also Freemasonry uses this symbol. So again, Trump being tied to all this Freemasonry stuff, considering he announced he was running for president in the 58th story Trump Tower, and Freemasonry equals 58. And so anyways, the dog star is a big part of this. And I think that the big thing here is that Hunter Biden equals 177. Like Bidenomics, which is what Biden is touting right now in his speeches. But also notice that Hunter Biden equals 60. Now we're coming up on the 60th presidential elections, and Hunter Biden is in the news, right? Donald Trump also equals 60, and Bidenomics equals 60. And sorry guys, I lost my page here. But anyways, the 60, we're coming up on the 60 presidential election. Donald Trump 60, Hunter Biden 60, Bidenomics 60. And going back to the Dog Days thing, the big thing that I can say here is that Trump's August 4th thing, his speech, is going to be super coded with this Jesuit Freemasonry ritual. Also, going back to how Trump is kind of portrayed as this dog, right, which is another word for scoundrel, and how Hunter Biden is also being portrayed as the scoundrel. Now, notice that Hunter Biden's real name is Robert Hunter Biden. Now, if you type in his name, Robert Biden, you're going to get the 68, kind of like Montgomery, Alabama, which is where Trump is going to be on 8/4, okay? Now, notice that Dog Days of Summer also equals 68, like Donald John Trump. So again, his real name, Robert Biden, has that 68. But the big number I want you guys to notice here is the 185. Okay, the 185 in Robert Biden, which is Hunter Biden's actual name, also matches Donald John Trump, 185, and Dog Days of Summer, 185. So what's up with this 185 number? Well, let me just do some date measurements here. So from Hunter Biden's last birthday, or was it his last birthday? Yeah, it's from his last birthday to August 4th, or sorry, to August 8th, which is the 8/8 is the day of the Lionsgate portal that I talked about in my last video. Okay. Now, what I want you guys to notice about this date is this day is the 220th day of the year. And in Gematria, Donald John Trump equals 220. So 8/8 is the 220th day of the year. Donald John Trump equals 220. Now, also in Gematria, Trump equals 88, like the date 8/8. Now, and also just notice, guys, that Trump is in the news a lot for being in front of a judge, which also equals 88. And just so you guys can see that judge and the word gavel, which is what a judge has, are direct matches. And just notice that gavel and judge both have the 88 and 25 like Trump. Okay, so it's no reason that Trump is always in the judge, in front of a judge, right? Because he's all about the judgment, Trump is. And so if we go back to the date from Hunter Biden's last birthday, who's also in judgment right now, to 8/8 is 185 days. I told you that Robert Biden, which is Hunter Biden's real name, equals 185. Donald John Trump equals 185, and dog days of summer equal 185. Now, if you also measure from when Trump, I think from when Trump was in, let me check, guys. Yeah, if you measure from when Trump was indicted in New York on 3/30, it's 18 weeks and 5 days. Again, you have the 185, like I just showed you from Hunter Biden's birthday. Now, remember, last year, this 8/8 date was a huge, huge date for Trump because he had his Mar-a-Lago raided, all right? So something's up again with this 8/8 date, but I want to transition to a few days before that on 8/4, when he's going to be at the Renaissance Hotel in Montgomery, Alabama. Now, this is where it gets interesting because Montgomery, Alabama is like the perfect place for Donald Trump to be performing a huge ritual. Well, first of all, let me show you the address of this Renaissance Hotel. And anybody who knows about the Jesuits and the number 201, you're going to laugh at this because the address for the hotel that Trump is going to be at is 201 Tallapoosa Street. 201 Tallapoosa Street. Now, what is that important? Well, guys, that's the 201 number. That's the Jesuit. Trump is Jesuit educated. The Jesuit order equals 201 and 177, kind of like Hunter Biden equals 177, like the Jesuit order, okay? But just notice the 201, and Trump is going to be at the 201 address in Montgomery, and the Jesuit order equals 201. Not only does that equal 201, but the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, equals 201. And the current Pope, Pope Francis, his full name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201. And so what a joke that the Renaissance Hotel that he's going to be at is 201. I mean, what a joke. And notice that it's got a 4.5 star rating. Well, Trump was the number 45th president, so that's interesting. But I just want to type in this street address. If you type in the address in Gematria, just look at what you get. You get this 176 number if you type in the address, okay? And this number comes up a lot, okay? 176. Notice that Montgomery, Alabama, where this hotel is located, equals 176. Just like flooding of the Nile. Now, why is that important, guys? Because in the dog days of summer in Egypt, the rising Sirius, this time, the dog days, was known for the flooding of the Nile. Notice that Trump is going to be during this time, he's going to be in Montgomery, Alabama, and Montgomery, Alabama just happens to have a 2-cipher match to flooding of the Nile. And this 176 is important because I just showed you that the hotel he's going to be at, if you type in the address of it, it's 176. Kind of like Trump equals 70, Donald John Trump equals 76, and dog days of summer equals 76, and flooding of the Nile, 76. So are we going to see some sort of water ritual in this time? Because supposedly this is what happens during the dog star. And so we're talking about yesterday, right? We're talking about yesterday when Hunter Biden was on trial and his case was, his plea deal was denied. That was the 158 days left in the year, okay? And this number is important because Freemasonry equals 158, kind of like Montgomery AL, like if you abbreviate the state, Montgomery, Alabama equals 158. All right, and so what's the chances that Freemasonry and Hunter Biden's in the court on 7/26? I just showed you how it's connected to Trump. So how these two, this is the day that Trump was in court being indicted, and this is the day that Hunter Biden was in court. These 2 days are tied by 16 weeks and 6 days, kind of like Montgomery, Alabama, once again, equals 16.6 or 166. Now, this brings me to the Judgment Day, okay? And this is super clear, guys. So WWE has been pushing this group called the Judgment Day in our faces for like the last month now. And the youngest member of this group is named Dominic Mysterio. And he's the son of a famous Hall of Famer wrestler named Rey Mysterio. And I want you guys to draw a parallel here between Dominic Mysterio and Donald Trump and Hunter Biden. Well, first of all, Hunter Biden is the son of Joe Biden, just like Dominic Mysterio is the son of a famous Hall of Fame wrestler, Rey Mysterio. Now, earlier this year, Dominic Mysterio turned on his father and joined the Judgment Day. So do you see the symbolism? Dominic Mysterio turns on his father and joins the Judgment Day. Just like a court is where you get a judgment. Like Trump gets a judgment, like Hunter Biden, okay? I want you guys to know how tall they say Dominic Mysterio is. It says he's 1.85 meters, kind of like Donald John Trump equals 185. And what's interesting about this guy is he was born on April 5th, okay? April 5th, which is like 4-5. And Donald Trump was the 45th president. But they recently started calling this guy Dirty Dom. Dirty Dom, okay? I want you to think about this dog symbolism that I mentioned earlier. The dirty dog. And this Dominic Mysterio just recently started being called Dirty Dominic or Dirty Dom. This sounds like Dirty Don, kind of like Donald. But why do they start calling him Dirty Dom? Well, here's the clue, guys. So look at this. If you type in the name that he's been being called lately, Dirty Dom, it equals 108.45, like the dog days, which is what we're in. And it equals his birthday. His birthday is 4-5, like Dirty Dom equals 4-5, and like how Donald Trump was the 45th president. Now, this Dirty Dom, he just became the North American champion, which is interesting. But again, guys, remember, he's in the Judgment Day, and this goes back to the judge, which equals 88, like Trump. Okay? It's all about the judgment. And to me, Trump represents the dogs. The elites like the Jesuits and the Freemasons, they look down on the general population as nothing but dogs. There's a famous quote in the Bible that says, even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. And I believe that what Trump represents, what Dirty Dom represents, is the dogs, which is us, the people they see as lower than them, or the people that they can control over, right? Or even that this whole matrix itself controls. So anyways, I just had to mention this guy because I know that he's super tied to this ritual because he's part of this Judgment Day. I just talked a lot about this group last week. I just didn't mention this guy, but he's also a huge part of this. So anyway, going back to the whole dirty dog thing, which is another word for a scoundrel, you know, and this brings up the song Hound Dog. And why is Hound Dog tied to this? Well, first of all, I want you guys to notice that this song was originally recorded not by Elvis Presley, but by a woman named Big Mama Thornton. Now, Big Mama Thornton recorded this song on August 13th, 1952. Now, this date stands out to me because this date can be written 138. August 13th can be written 138, kind of like Donald Trump equals 138. Okay, and notice that Hound Dog, the name of the song, equals 88, like Trump. Okay, not only does it equal 88 like Trump, it also equals 29 in the reverse reduction cipher. But just notice that this song was sang by a woman originally, and then Elvis did a cover of it. Now, Elvis is known for being associated with Las Vegas, which could also be considered part of a dirty dog or a scoundrels, right? People that are scoundrels would probably go to Vegas. So the way I see it is this woman represents Kamala because, again, she was the original one to sing it. But the original words to this song were not, "You ain't nothing but a hound dog, quit snooping round my door." So you're going to say that this song was written for a woman to sing, which berates her selfish, exploitative man. Okay? And this is about women's power. I even read an article where it says that this song was written for Big Mama Thornton to be a symbol of Black woman power. Now, what does that sound like? It sounds like Kamala Harris. I'm not going to talk a lot about her in this, but this is definitely connected to her. And just so you guys know, on August 13th this year, it will be the 71 anniversary of this song. And Big Mama Thornton, the girl who sang this song, will be equals 71, like Kamala Devi Harris. Okay, so it's interesting that on August 13th, it will be 71 years since it was recorded. So again, this song was written about a dog, calling a man, a scoundrel, a dog. Okay, and then obviously Elvis redid this and changed the lyrics, because look, the lyrics were not the same as the original. The original lyrics were "quit snooping round my door," but the Elvis song, he changes the lyrics to "you ain't never caught a rabbit." Okay, now why is that important, guys? Why is this rabbit symbolism important? Because a hound dog is what chases a rabbit. Okay, and what is Hunter Biden? He's like a hound dog, a hunter. Okay? Hunter Biden, hound dog. Now, what is a hound dog? You ain't never caught a rabbit. Okay? A hound dog. A hunter dog. And this hound dog equals 88 like Trump. Now, another thing I want to point out here is that we're in the year of the rabbit. Do you guys get it? The song says, "You ain't nothing but a hound dog. You ain't never caught a rabbit." Okay, and we're in the year of the rabbit, which was also the year that JFK got you know what. And so what are the chances that, and why is this important with Elvis? Because Elvis is currently 88. Okay, like hound dog. Okay, if you measure from Elvis's birthday, which was in 1935, Elvis is currently 88 years old. And on 8/8, it will be 8 days before Elvis's death date, because Elvis died on 8/16. Do you see all the eights here? Hound dog, 88. Trump, 88. Elvis is 88. And it will be 8 days before his death date. And if you actually add the date 8/16, it's like an 888, which Donald J. Trump equals 888 in Sumerian, and Trump equals 88. So I hope you guys understood that. Let me know if you guys are lost or anything. But I know there's a clear symbolism here of why in the song it says "you ain't never caught a rabbit," and now we're in the rabbit year. So again, let's talk about Sirius for a minute, the dog star. Trump was had a big day earlier this year on 5/9 or 9/5. Now remember, in gematria, guys, Sirius equals 95, and this was the big number I talked about in my last video. Now on, let's see, let me find it again. Sorry, guys, I keep losing my place here. Yeah, on 5/9, on 9/5, May 9th, Trump was basically called a dog. He got cleared, he got accused of sexual abuse by E. Jean Carroll. And of course, this is on the dog number 95, like Sirius. And Trump must pay $5 million in damages. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. But if you measure from that day, let's measure from 5/9. If you measure from 5/9 to yesterday, it was 78 days or 217 days which is interesting. I'm not going to get into that actually, but it's interesting. But if you go to this 8-4 day where Trump's going to be at the Renaissance Hotel, it's going to be as 88 days. So from the day he was accused of being a dog, essentially, is 88 days till 8-4, where he's going to be in Montgomery, which I've already connected to all this. So anyways, don't forget, guys, that this is the 216th day of the year, which is a product of 6 times 6 times 6. And it's also 149 days left in the year, which is a huge skull and bones number. Okay. And this is Obama's birthday. Now, remember, the Lionsgate portal during the Sirius time is on 8/8. I just wanted to point that out. I talked about that in my last video. But anyway, back to this hound dog thing. Elvis is 88 years old, and it's going to be 8 days before his death date on 8/16. And this song was recorded right after the dog days ended in 1952. Another interesting thing about this date, the date this song was recorded, this mama hot dog or hound dog, it was the year the queen became queen. So again, another feminine symbolism here. But here we go, guys. So August 4th could be a big day for Trump. He keeps getting displayed as this scoundrel, this hound dog, right? Which equals 88. And let's go back over to the gematria real fast. Let's connect a few more things. So yeah, I think actually that's all I want to connect here, but I want to make another point about the dates actually. Let's see. So I told you that there was a huge connection to the 176 because on this date, on August 4th, when Trump's going to be in Montgomery, Alabama, he'll be 28,176 days old. And in gematria, Montgomery, Alabama equals 176. So on the day he's 28,176 days old, he's going to be in the city that equals 176. And this is connected to the dog days, which is connected with the flooding of the Nile. And don't forget the address that he's going to be in. If you type it in, 201 Tallapoosa Street also equals 176. As I showed before, I'll show it again so you guys can see. So yeah, you guys can see that the 176 is the address and the city, and Trump will be exactly, if I can find it again, 28,176 days old. So what a perfect day for him to be at that hotel in that city. All right, so here's another big connection, guys. One of the biggest things that happened with Trump in the last couple of years was the insurrection. That happened on 1/6. If you measure from the insurrection to August 4th, now I want you guys to notice something here, that the insurrection date had 48 date numerology, kind of like August 4th can be written 48, and kind of like Donald Trump equals 48, and dirty dog also. So Donald Trump equals 48, and let's see. From the day he had his insurrection thing on the 48 date numerology to 4/8 is 941 days. Well, that's important because that's the 160 prime. So from 1/6 to 8/4 is 160, which can be written 1/6, like the date that the insurrection happened on. But this is not an arbitrary number, 160, because in gematria, I'm just typing this word in. I'm not going to say it. This word equals 160. So from the day of his insurrection on 1/6 to 8/4 is the 160 prime days, and this word equals 160. So I thought that was very interesting. I'm not saying it's going to happen to him on that day, but I mean, that day looks huge for him, which is why I think he's in Montgomery to begin with. So I think that's it, guys. I mean, I just wanted to really point out the symbolism of this, of calling somebody a dog, and then the symbolism of this wrestler being called Dirty Dom. right now, and he's pretty much being like the most scoundrel type character you could ever be. And Trump being always in trouble right now, and then having this thing on August 4th. So anyway, let me go to the chat. I know I kind of ignored you guys, but I've seen a lot of people in the chat. Oh, look, Rebecca Carrington is in the chat. She always sharing great information. Dion, let's see. Sorry, guys, I missed a lot of your comments here. Yeah, so yeah, Square Peg talking about we need to have a serious talk. Yes, we do. It's nice to see you in the chat, though, everyone. There's a lot of comments I missed. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention about Montgomery, Alabama. Montgomery, Alabama is where the song Hound Dog was recorded. Or no, sorry, it's Montgomery, Alabama is where Big Mama Thornton, the girl who sang Hound Dog, it's where she called home, I believe. Yeah, so I can't remember where it says that, but it says that she called, yeah, it's right here. She claimed that Montgomery, Alabama was her home, or that's where she claimed her birthplace was. So what are the chances that on 8/4 in Montgomery, Alabama, Trump, who's connected to the Hound Dog, is in Montgomery, the place where the original singer of this song called home? I just thought that was crazy. And just to think of the word Alabama, Alabam, like a big bam, like a, I'm not going to say it, but bam. Yeah, so again, guys, I think it's a huge connection. And don't forget, she was connected to Memphis too. And Memphis is where Elvis was connected to. And the dog star Sirius is connected to Egypt, which Memphis is a city in ancient Egypt. And just look when she died, guys. She died on July 25th, which is right in the midst of the dog days of summer when she died. So that's another interesting thing. And as I told you guys, her name, Big Mama Thornton, equals 71. I hate my computer, guys. Sorry. Big Mama Thornton equals 71. And this year will be the 71st anniversary since the song Hound Dog was recorded. And don't forget, Kamala Devi Harris, 71, in this same cipher. And this song was supposedly sang by Big Mama Thornton about Black woman power. I read something in one of the Wikipedias. I'm not going to go find it now. But it talks about how she sang that song to represent Black women. So very interesting. Kevin, the prime, 71 prime is the 20th prime. Kind of like Trump equals 20. Or no, sorry, Judge equals 20. So that's interesting. Anyways, is there anyone that wants to jump on the live stream with me? It's one of those days where I'm full of energy, and anyone who's in the chat that wants to jump on the live stream, please let me know. I can leave the link in the chat. There's got to be somebody on this in this live stream that has a good share about all this. Yeah, and another connection is earlier this year, the last living member of the band Leonard Skinner died, and they were, of course, known for singing "Sweet Home Alabama." And remember, the original band members were in a plane crash where a lot of those people died. And I've been talking a lot about possible plane crashes. And the dog symbolism is also connected to Pluto or the Hades, who has the dogs, and he lets the hounds, the hounds of hell, so the hounds of judgment and the hounds of hell, right? So there's a lot of different things you could say here about this dog symbolism. It's obvious that Trump and the United States as a whole is tied to the dog star. I mean, I showed that in my last video. Anybody want to get on live stream? Let me put the link in the chat. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. Let me drop that link. So I just dropped the link in the chat. Anyone who wants to join and talk with me on here? Yes. Mama Bareness 138. Yes. 88 is the Lionsgate date. Kind of rhymes, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, there's a whole channel, Jurassic Liars, who talks about the similarities between Trump and Elvis. And I don't think he's wrong in most of his stuff. I think he's very accurate. And it's interesting that this is all happening around, remember, August, or, essentially Elvis died on 8/16, which could also be said to be 888, which, because 8 times 2 is 16, and 8/16 is 888. And Elvis is 88 this year. No one wants to jump on the live stream tonight, I guess. Kevin says the 26th of July was the release date of Who Let the Dogs Out by Baha Men. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a good one, Kevin. That is a good one. Oh, Dion, I want to thank you for becoming a super subscriber. Dion Sandals in the chat. He's always been one of my best subscribers. He's always in the chat giving good info. Yeah, you guys can subscribe to my channel on YouTube, or you guys can go to my Buy Me a Coffee link, which is also, I want to thank my friend Kevin for donating, and then also a few of you others have donated so far. I really appreciate all of you. Big shout outs. I mean, there's so much love for anyone who donates, and I really appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Where did Square Peg go off to? She's still in the chat. Does she have anything to add, or she want to come on? She's like the one that comes on the most often. How about Rebecca? Are you still in the chat? Do you want to jump on here? I don't know if the people that I saw earlier were in the chat or still in the chat or not. If not, I'll end this stream in about 5 minutes if no one jumps on. Yes, ES, Sweet Home Alabama does equal 144, like President Biden, like this 144,000 in the Bible. It's a huge connection. As a matter of fact, I found a huge connection between the death of the Leonard Skinner, the whatever his name was. I can't remember his name, like Gary Rossington or something. He died on March 5th. And if you measure from the date he died to August 4th, when Trump's in Alabama, it's going to be 152 days. Now, that's the number of Joe Biden. That's the number of Kamala Harris. Rebecca Carrington says 8/4 is Obama's 62nd birthday. Dog and God both equal 26. Queen 62 and 26. Yeah, that's a good one. 2/16, day of the year, 6 times 6 times 6. Hey, Rebecca, you want to get on the live stream? I don't know if you can or not. It seems like Square Peg's busy doing some of her awesome information. If you guys haven't checked out her channel, one of my favorite channels, Square Peg Divergent. And she's always giving good information. Yeah, it's just crazy that Leonard Skinner, their last living member died this year, and now you have this Alabama thing going on with Trump, and of course they sang "Sweet Home Alabama." Rebecca Carrington says August 4th to the great eclipse on 4/8. Both can be written 4/8. It's 8 months, 4 days apart. Okay, wow. Yeah. So maybe it's all pointing us to the great American eclipse date also. If it doesn't happen this August, it's definitely going to happen sometime between that great American eclipse and now. Okay, Rebecca, that's fine. You don't have to join if you don't have anything to say, but you're always giving good information, so that's why I asked. Yeah, my buddy Kevin's trying to jump on. I'll give him a minute. I don't see you in the thing yet, Kevin, but maybe he'll jump on for a bit. I believe Rebecca does have a channel. Isn't it called like Blue Lotus? Rebecca's channel, I believe, is like Blue Lotus something. She'll have to put that in the chat if she wants to. She does like astrology stuff. Yeah, I need to watch your video from yesterday, Square Peg. I haven't watched. You always release your videos in the when I'm sleeping because of the time difference. So I never get a chance to watch them right away. Yeah, so her channel is just Blue Lotus. It's a tarot channel. Okay. I knew you had a channel. I thought it was called that. All right. Well, I'm kind of waiting for Kevin to see if he can jump on. If not, it seems like no one or Kevin's the only one. So if he can't, then probably end the stream. But I'll give him a bit of time. All right. Kevin says it's not going to happen. Well, that's okay. That's fine, guys. Well, thanks for all you guys sharing in the chat everything. Once again, I appreciate all of you guys. I think there's a lot of other things I was going to say about this too, about this hound dog stuff, but I forgot a lot of it, honestly. But yeah, guys, I think that the biggest thing here is we're in the dog days of summer, and we're going to see some rituals. We're going to see some interesting things, I think. So, what do you want me to check? Hold on, Kevin. Kevin wants me to check something. Let me share my screen again. July 26, 2000. All right, hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to share my screen again because I'm going to try to check this live. Okay, so Kevin says check the date span from 7/26. Oh, shit. 7/26/2000 to 9/11. Okay, let me check. I'm a slow typer, guys, if you can't. Okay. Okay, so that was the date of Who Let the Dogs Out. So the date I'm measuring from, guys, is the date Who Let the Dogs Out, which crazily enough is released the same day as yesterday when Hunter Biden was in court, right? And I already made this connection. So from that day to 9/11 was 412 days. Okay, and it's, well, what I see here is also the 59 weeks, kind of like Sirius is 95, the reverse. But yeah, the 147 also I saw, which is connected to the president because president of the United States equals 147. And I believe there's like 147 windows in the White House. And Freemason equals 147 as well, yeah. So that's interesting. But what I saw too was the 148. Now what's that, guys? 148. That's Donald J. Trump. I'll type that in for you so you guys can see. So it was, oh, I did not even know that Donald J. Trump equaled 176, like Montgomery, Alabama equals 176. That's crazy, guys. But look, 148. So Donald J. Trump equals 148. And from the release of Who Let the Dogs Out on 7/26/2000 to 9/11 is 1 year and 48 days, 148. But you're right. Also, the 147 is connected to the president as well. And yeah, and like Kevin said, that's also the Lucifer number. So again, thanks for verifying that, Kevin, because I did not even know that was the release date for Who Let the Dogs Out. So no wonder I saw all these hound dog connections to yesterday when Hunter Biden was in court. But yeah, well, the 148 is huge, guys, because, you know, that's Donald Trump's number as well. That's another reason why I think he'll be the 48th president. Possibly. He could also be 47, but I think Kamala will be before him. All right. Well, thanks for sharing, Kevin. Appreciate you, man. ES is sharing stuff here also about a connection to Roswell. Interesting. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get off here. I don't want to make the stream too long for the people who watch it later. So thank you guys once again for stopping by. Like I said, if you want to support the channel, you can become a member here on YouTube, where you guys can go check out my Buy Me a Coffee link, which is in the chat. And also hit the thumbs up before you leave, if you would. So because I think I'm getting very much banned lately, because ever since I started doing live streams, I've noticed that YouTube is instantly demonetizing my videos before I even put them out. And I'm noticing that I'm getting like suppressed a bit, but it is what it is. I have like the best subscribers. The people that always come to my live streams, you guys are the best. So I'm appreciative of all of you guys. And anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next live stream, maybe in a few days. See you later, Square Peg. Thanks for coming by. And thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Bob. Thanks to Rick and also Dion. Much love to you all. I'll see you guys in the next stream. Peace.